All right, here we go. We've finally gotten to the point where we're about done with learning about these equations as one variable. And so today we're going to talk about solving multi-step equations, which can be a little bit more challenging. And so let's get started with that. So what we want to start with is a little bit of a checklist. So if you get a multi-step equation, first of all, you're going to look through the equation and get rid of any distributing that needs to be done. So if you have parentheses anywhere, you're going to multiply the numbers in front of the parentheses by each thing in the parentheses to get rid of those parentheses. Then combine the like terms together on both sides, and then what you can notice is that any term that can be moved across the equal sign by flipping its sign. So positive would turn to negative, or negative would turn to positive if you move it across the equal sign. And then we're going to add or subtract from both sides. The last step is in order to finish it off and to solve an equation is usually to multiply or divide both sides by the last number in front of the variable. So let's try one. So we got this number right here. So we're going to go ahead and label as we go along here. So the first thing we're going to do is distribute. And maybe I'll just kind of abbreviate. So distribute. And what we're going to distribute is this negative 6 times 1 and negative 6 times 6a. So as we do that, we're going to rewrite the equation. First of all, the 5a doesn't change when we distribute. It's still 5a. The negative 6 times 1 is minus 6. And negative 6 times 6a is minus 36a. And all of that equals 149. All right, so we're going to make sure we get our Great Wall of China, or our equal sign kind of lined up here. We're going to go ahead and collect some like terms. On the left side, we got 5a minus 36a. So 5a and minus 36a would be negative 31a. At the same time, we notice we got minus 6 over here. We're going to add 6 to both sides to move that constant to the other side with the other numbers, the 149 over there. So that would cancel them out on that side. And on this side, we'd end up with 155 for our total. All right, so we got one more step here. We got to divide both sides by negative 31. So let's put a little line under there and put negative 31 and negative 31. And when we divide that out, we end up with a equals, and then 155 divided by negative 31 is minus 5. And there we go. Okay, next example. We've got our problem here, and let's do a little better job of labeling it. I think I didn't label very well on the first one. So we're going to start out with distribute. And we're going to distribute the 9 times the y and the 9 times the 5. So as we do so, we got to keep track of the rest of the problem. 2y plus 38 equals 9y plus 45. Okay, so now we're going to collect the like terms together. So I'm going to just put collect or combine. So combine our like terms together. So what are the like terms? Well, we have 2y and 9y as our variables, and then our constants are minus 38 and 45. So I'm going to go ahead and rearrange these so that they're on the right side. So there's my 2y, and then 9y is going to cross the equal sign, and we mentioned earlier in our little instructions that if anything crosses the equal sign, it becomes its opposite. So 9y becomes minus 9y, which is kind of the same reasoning of saying subtract 9y from both sides. So 45, which remains over on the right side, we'll bring that 38 over and subtract it from 45, so we're going to have minus 38. So we end up with 2 minus 9y. So 2 minus 9 would be negative 7y equals, then 45 minus 38 equals 7 as well. So if I divide both sides by negative 7, I end up with a very nice number of y equals negative 1. So there's our example. If I kind of covered up that one. So there's that example. And so again, we combined our like terms, and that's kind of how we end up with this line right down here. And then down here we continued to isolate the variable or solve. Isolate the variable and solve. And if we do this step-by-step process, we get a good answer. Okay? All right. Let's try, well, let's see, that one looks a lot like the last one we just did. Let's see if the next one. Okay, this one looks a little different, maybe a little bit larger. So let's try this one. We don't need to do every example every time. So we're going to distribute first. So negative 4 times 3 would be negative 12, and negative 4 times 6 is minus 24. All right, and then we still have plus 12 over here on the end equals negative 96. Okay, so now that we've got our distribution out of the way, we're going to go ahead and combine like terms. So we got negative 24 plus 12, so that's just minus 12. And we have negative 12n out in front of that. And all of that equals negative 96. So let's go ahead and add 12 to both sides to isolate the variable. So add 12 to both sides. And when we do that, that cancels. We have negative 12n equals 96 minus 12 is, negative 96 minus 12 is negative 84. So and then we divide by negative 12, we end up with an interesting score of, or an interesting answer of n equals, how many times will 12 go into 84? Well, it goes in 7 times. So our answer on that one would be 7. So you're getting the idea. So we distribute, combine the like terms, isolate the variable, and solve. So we got an assignment called multi-step equations. Now, when we did it in class, we did actually have a password, which we've removed, so you don't have a password to work on, or at least not this time around. Anyhow, good luck with this assignment. Thank you very much.